just hop around.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
5 furlongs on the turf, the Gulfstream Park Sprint. A lot of cool horses in this race. I really like watching most of these horses run recently, and I can see getting to a couple different ones. I mean, it's a 5 furlong sprint at Gulfstream, so I thought you got to take a little bit of a price just because you never can be too sure of these things. So I'm gonna single, or my top pick is Reef Runner in the 11 post. I think 12-1 morning line. I didn't do this with the morning lines. I think I saw 12-1 when I checked today. 5 of 6 in the money. Okay, sweet. 5
Yeah,
of
it's
6 in the
12-1.
money at the distance. He likes Gulfstream Park. 5 of 5 in the money. Slammed the gate hard last time out at 5 furlongs last month at Gulfstream against Coppola, Arzak. A couple good horses in that race. He got a real slow start, a lot slower than is typical for him, and just came flying down the stretch and looked like he probably would have won if he didn't get slowed up by 5 lengths or whatever at the beginning, slamming into the gate. Really good workouts as well recently. Gulfstream 46-3 for furlong, 18th of January. So I think this is like the informed horse for this race. And at 12-1, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Out of that race, that's the one I would like. I mean, Capella, or whatever, Coppola, um, got like absolutely hammered at the windows that day. Like his price dropped in the gate from like 8-1 to 7-2, broke on the lead, and just kind of easily never looked back. And it's kind of the front runner flow to that race. Reef Runner was definitely finishing best late against the flow, so I definitely like that horse. The only thing that's hard um, is that post really. That's a tough post. Um, I mean, especially going 5 furlongs, she's pretty much gonna have to circle the fields, and I don't know, 5.5 furlongs with a lot of these good horses. That's gonna be tough ask, but definitely with the price, um, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love no balls too. I really love that last race from Reef Runner, and I think he did actually try to circle the field last out and only lost by 2 3/4. Obviously, you don't want him to have to circle the field, but he would be in a better position probably to do it this time out. But 12-1, I'm trying to hit some of those bombs on this huge card.
Yeah, I really like the card. So
Yeah, some of the best rate. I love the Pegasus weekend typically, and this is a great lineup. I know the track doesn't always play in a spectator friendly, better friendly manner, but you gotta love the lineups at least. Do you have anything in race 6?
yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, I will say one. The horse in race 5 I kind of like is the Mucho del Oro. It's coming off a long layoff, but for Doug O'Neill, and but there's really actually not a ton of like complete speed balls other than Capella in that race. And this one, I don't think they would. I mean, Doug O'Neill's California trainer, obviously, I don't think he would bring him back off almost a year layoff if he wasn't ready to fire, and he's got the early speed at 5 furlongs. He could be dangerous. But yeah, we can go to race number 6. It's on the all weather. I thought this was a pretty good betting race. Um, you could definitely make a case for a ton of horses in here. I don't know if I'll be betting this one like on the win end but I like a bunch of horses in here. So the first is the one and the 2. Both run turf last time, but um, had some trouble in their turf races versus tougher. So I think in a jam and a manual are coming out of some classy races, and usually the turf form translates to the synthetic. So those are two prices. The 5 classic Motown Drexler, his Woodbine synthetic shippers, all of them are winning every race at Gulfstream last couple weeks. So that's another one, 8-1. And then I thought Evade is dropping in class, trying synthetic for the first time. I think, and Jerry the Nipper kind of went gate to wire last time, setting a slow pace, but those are the kind of ones I like. But I think the 1 and the 2 are the ones coming off some bad trips on turf. I think that ran better than it looks, and I think are really dangerous.
Okay, nice. I didn't take too much of a look at this one. I'm saving all my all-weather game for Turfway, you know. But Jerry the Nipper, he reminded me of for some reason Senor Busco, who they just retired him, right? I think he was like registered for a race this
I'm
weekend,
not sure.
but they retired him.
I maybe got hurt or something. Yeah, I didn't see
Maybe.
that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say there. Anything in race 7 for you?
Yeah, I like the 2 Brendan Walsh horses. Their posts suck, but Forever After All, I thought was best in that last race at Gulfstream. Ran huge with the bad trip. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it was a really slow pace, and he was really game getting out to the finishing strong. Just missed. He does kind of like to run, or she really likes to run second, which is kind of a concern. But that horse, and then the other Brendan Walsh horse too, another one, run some really good strong late pace figures, and it's just the posts are tough for those. But 5-1 and 12-1, I'll probably mess around with them and hope. Murphy and Gaffleone are 2 pretty good turf riders, so hopefully they can work out some trip from out there.
Yeah, I thought this race was between Chop Chop and Forever After All. So I'll go in on Forever After All just because of the price. And Forever After All has raced Chop Top Chop. Lost by a nose at 1.5 miles last time. So, you know, that's a toss up basically. Lost by a length at 1.16 miles last March. I think Forever After All is coming into form right now. If you watch those last 2 races, and then stretching her out here with just really good late speed and some strong finishes in the last few races should be the ticket to finally get that win over Chop Chop. So, yeah, I agree with you there. A little tough with the post, but she's labeled as an S. I like these horses that you can kind of play with the fact that you know other people are looking at, for example, Brisnet, and they've got her labeled as an S4 type, right? And then you look at all her races, and maybe just because of the longer distances at slower fractions, they're getting that rating to her. But she was like a P horse, really. Like she's like a mid pack horse, so she can get mid pack situated pretty quick, I think, and you don't have to worry too much about the post at such a long distance, 1.5 miles, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is they start really close to the turn.
Oh yeah,
because it's like 3 turns at Gulfstream, so they do kind of start like she's gonna be hung wide, and then the other turns I'm not too worried about. But it's still it's can get to be a lot of ground when you're going that far. But I mean, she ran huge at Del Mar back too. She had a brutal trip, and ran a huge second. So I think she's sitting on a big race. It's just gonna be if she can work out a trip. And Chop Chop, I don't really like going away from Cox, even if it's Pletcher. I don't.
yeah. I wonder
That's
why
kind
they
of
switched him
concerns
up.
me.
For
And
Poli Stable, that's he's a trainer too, right?
no, Ripley's a Pletcher owner, but and most of his horses run for Pletcher, but I just don't. I don't know if I don't know why, but that's not necessarily an upgrade for me. I think that's concerning.
Yeah, it
If
is interesting
anything.
going from uh Cox and like an assortment of jockeys to now IRAD with Todd Pletcher. That's weird. But yeah, I'd go with Forever
Yeah.
After All just because it's um a lot better. She's a lot better price, and if you're playing like the horizontals, I thought it was kind of hard to get away from the chalk. In a couple of these races, especially there's so many. There's like 3.5 mile races, and you're typically not going to get a 15-1 shot on a 1.5 mile race that often. Maybe a Gulfstream it's a little more common, but it was hard to get away from some cheap or some steep prices. So I like 5-1 if she's anywhere near that, I guess. I don't really have any. I can go in on race 8. You got anything there?
I like Tumbarumba. I just don't think there's a lot of speed. They take the blinkers off, but I think that's just maybe to so she can see so you can see the horses in the stretch. But really game horse, and Rocket Can ran him down last time, but I don't know, that race kind of came out of nowhere, and um, I don't know. I just think there's not really any pace, and I just see Tumbarumba finally getting a win here. I think won this race last year. That was his last win. A really game nose win. So yeah, I mean, not going to be a big price, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
roll with
I
that
agree
one.
100%. That's why I wanted to do the like best bets so we can go back and forth a little bit. Because if we just did the whole sequence, I had a lot of chalk like Tumbarumba, honestly. So yeah, I just noticed that now that you pointed out, won this last year, then second, fourth in a really good Breeders' Cup race, and then second again. So don't want to say he's due, but he's due. I also like race number 9. I'm pretty chalky, so if you have something, go ahead. But if not, we'll go on to 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty chalky in there.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I mean, Bold Act, I think is the one to beat. I like the 12 cash equity. Um, had a ton of trouble last time, and I thought that you can just completely ignore that last race. So again, the posts, I don't like that. I like the horses on the outside on the turf. It's kind of completely against my style, but um, I don't know. Those are the two horses I think are best in that race. So.
Yeah, I was all over Bulldog. I can get convinced at least underneath on a couple other horses, but I didn't have a strong opinion on any of them besides Bulldog. So we'll go 10, race 10, mile and 16th on the turf. I do have a cool opinion in this one. I'll just go in first. I like number 2, Pounce. I think a lot of the horses in this race, it's like they're good, pretty good horses, but it's kind of a question of how good are they. And then a couple of them, kind of like Pounce, have raced really good horses in other races, haven't won a ton of races, but are just kind of trying to find their footing. Ran second to Keyhole Beach, who's just we know she's a beast. At a mile on the 16th last time. That was at Churchill. She's 2-2 here at Gulfstream. Good workouts, 59.2 on the 10th of January. I don't see a whole lot of pace in this speed. She's got the inside position. Some of the other speed horses are questionable, and she does have experience coming off of the pace and winning. So I'll take that over horses who haven't shown that as much. And I just feel like maybe she's underrated class wise, compared to like the favorites in this race, like Sacred Wish. I guess she's a good horse. I'm just trying to fade her here. I haven't seen like world beater potential out of her, and I like some of the efforts I've seen from Pounce in the past. So I like the inside post here with her. Well, do you have the money line? Was it also 12-1, something like that? Even better, yeah. I love that.
15,
Getting
15 to
Dylan
1.
Davis back. She has won G3s with Dylan Davis, so pretty good position. I'm a sender with her here. Who'd you get?
Yeah, no, I like what you're saying. I like that horse a lot. That's definitely one of my horses. I think that I was kind of see this race the same way. I don't. I think it's a pretty weak race for a Grade 2, so that's good for prices. I don't think the favorites are anything special. So yeah, I like Pounce. I also think the 7 Muno, I don't know who ran behind Pounce last time. Yeah, I don't know, but that wasn't a very fast pace, and don't really know how good this one's going to be. Won a nice allowance at Keeneland after shipping in. Brendan Walsh horses um, have been firing at Gulfstream. And then in the 6, I thought was a wild card too. First time Chile, just kind of what we're saying, where I don't think the horses are necessarily that good. So um, whenever that's the case, just a complete wild card horse like that, I think might be dangerous. So I liked. I had two, 6, and 7 written down in that race that I liked.
Okay, yeah, I like the play with the 6 too. I was thinking about her for underneath. I think that's an angle we're gonna have to trademark because you called that with the full Serrano at the Breeders' Cup. Those like Chilean South American horses.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was.
the angle though we need to see a race in the United States, a prep race. Here that she put out a really good workout, so maybe we'll look at that as the angle too. But these Chilean horses that are just like beating up on competition down there and then shipping in here, I think that's a good angle sometimes, especially in a weaker field. Because these are big. She's won by 3 lengths in a 13 field race, a length in a 16 horse race. Like she's beating up on big fields too.
Yeah, and I haven't even watched her races yet, but yeah, that was one thing with Full Serrano. Full Serrano had like a race or two in the U.S. and had run some really fast paces too, which I liked. But um, yeah, no, I'll look at that one again. But yeah, I think this trainer hits with some prices too. I just lost the last race at Santa Anita, so which pissed me off. But yeah,
Who's the trainer for Full Serrano? It's not the same guy, is it? Ignacio Correa?
I don't think so.
But yeah, there's some good horses in this race, but it's just questionable how good to me. And some of these, yeah, these lesser experienced or the shippers, you got to give a second look to. All right, we'll go to. I think my last play will be in race 12. Did you have anything in 11?
No, not really.
Okay, did you have anything in 12?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
sweet.
my
Go
favorite
ahead
horse
then
on
if
the
you don't
card.
mind.
So, yeah. So actually, I like a few horses, but my best bet on the card is going to be the 3 E Hermano Ramon, Galat horse. Ship it in. I think the obvious horses are the 5 and the 7 kind of have a class edge over this field, but I don't think they're like really that great. As far as really short prices are going to be. I mean, Integration hasn't won a Grade 1. Nation's Pride won a Grade 1, but I don't know. He also disappointed in a couple of races last year. So, I mean, those are definitely the 2 to beat. But the 8, the 3, Mi Hermano Ramon, It's really good form right now. Ran huge last race behind Johannes, who's a really good horse, and would be probably vying for favoritism if that horse was in. And um, Johannes won with like a perfect rail trip and just kind of tip out. But this one, um, Tyus made a huge move, 5 wide on the turn, and I thought this horse ran really good to sustain that run for second. So it's drawn inside today. Should get a good trip, and I think is dangerous. So that's the horse I like
Okay,
best.
yeah, I was looking a lot at Mi Hermano Ramon. I really like that horse. My thing in this race is there was a lot of shippers from Santa Anita and Del Mar coming in. That have never run on Gulfstream Park turf, and I was just not sure how they're gonna take to it, and I thought they were kind of similar, class of horse. I so it was tough for me to get past any of them to pick one. So I kind of gravitated to another horse that I liked. I'll probably use Mi Hermano Ramon on any underneath tickets or possibly some of the big verticals. But I actually went with the one Siege of Boston, 2 or 3 in the money at Gulfstream. Seems to be rounding back into form a little bit. Really good workouts. The 36 seconds flat. Before last race, 47-4 with the dogs out on the turf the other week. Super strong finish last race against multiple horses that are in this race that are gonna probably Major Dude is Major Dude the favorite or no? I'm sorry, I don't have the odds.
Not the favorite, but
Yeah,
a lower price for sure. Let me look. 6 to 1, yeah, and with
yeah,
Irad, it'd probably be 4 or 5 to
yeah.
1.
So he raced really close. Behind Major Dude. Fort Washington went for the money. I think Fort Washington's also a contender if he gets into this race, but he's going to be far on the outside post. So, Siege of Boston was stuck behind traffic, following a slower pace last, and just didn't have room in the stretch. And then when things finally opened up, he went running hard and just was too little, too late, but looked really strong. Switching back to Junior Alvarado here, who hasn't rode him in a while. I would have felt better with one of the Gulfstream Park colony jockeys that have ridden him maybe, but I don't think it really matters too much. I think being on the inside post, probably going to be in a pretty good position. Can run off the pace or can run pushing the pace a little bit. So there's going to be a bit of speed to close into. How much, I guess, depends on how much they send, like the two, maybe Formula Man, Major Dude, Spirit of St. Louis. So I think he'll be in that second pack of horses and was closing really strong last, which is just that form I'm looking for. So, sorry, what is Siege of Boston's money line, morning line? Oh, perfect.
15 to
Love
1.
that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Siege of Boston. I really like Mi Hermano Ramon as well. I would mention I like the Grand Sonata a little bit. I think he's just better going a little bit longer. He looked kind of one paced in the stretch last, but I could see him finishing up underneath maybe. But yeah, those two in toward the inside are my favorites that I've nailed down in this race.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it very similar. Those are my other 2 prices that I like. So I had the same thing. I thought Siege of Boston, rail trip, nowhere to run the stretch, finished full of run, strong gallop out, way more in the tank. That was my note for the last race. So definitely going to be using that one in some capacity too. And then the 2 Formidable Man. I had a good trip last time, but is in really good form and gets a great in Rispoli. So yeah, I'll be pressing the 3, but I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 here and try and beat the favorites. I think in that race.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's the way to go about it. I couldn't really get myself on any of the favorites. I think Integration's a good horse, like you were talking about, but again, just seems to prefer a little bit longer of a distance. And I think that you could see this race kind of breaking up into two packs of horses, like the horses that run the fractions for this distance, and then Integration, Grand Sonata, Chasing the Crown, like a lot of slower, further back horses that just don't get involved in the pace in this race. So you could definitely box and a trifecta, the 1, 2, 3, and you might have a decent shot just like that. All right. Did you have anything in the final?
No, the Pegasus looks pretty chalky to me. Looks like White Barrio is back to himself. I will say, I mean, Irad got left in the gate last time, but he came running behind a slow pace, so he's got back in the Safi barn. He looks like his old self, but I actually think if I had to choose between him and Locked, I'd probably choose Locked. Just better post, I think. Well, I mean, drawn to the outside, but it's just going to get that Johnny V outside stalking trip. And I just think this colt might be even better than our White Barrio at this stage, but I don't have much of value in that race at all. I don't. I'd be shocked if one of those two didn't win. I just don't think it's a very strong field besides them.
Yeah, I haven't taken a super deep look at this, but I was definitely looking at White Barrio first. Why are they running Mystic Dan in this? Like, it feels like they didn't know what to do with Mystic Dan.
No, for sure. I think. I mean, I don't know. It's more. I don't know what the hell they were doing, bringing him back, sprinting in California. I mean, I guess if it's a prep for this race, but I would have just maybe shipped him to Gulfstream and.
Yeah, because that's always my question. Is I don't know how advantageous it is to run a turf race in California and go directly to Gulfstream. I don't think it's like a plus, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, coming out of that race, Stronghold is a little bit interesting. Showed that he's kind of developed as a 3-year-old. That was a really good second last time in the Malibu off a layoff, and was on the Derby Trail last time. So I think I might mess around with him. In exactas, maybe in second, with just play White Barrio and Locked in first, and just him underneath, and see maybe if I can get one of the favorites to run out of the exacta or something like that. But yeah, there's really not a lot of even prices underneath I'm interested in. And Saudi Crown, I think, is a pretty overrated horse.
Yeah, it's a real mixed bag lineup. Just some weird running styles and training choices coming together in this race. But yeah, hard to get away from White Barrio. Fucking 6 of 8 straight off the Gulfstream, so. And then not being challenged here too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think Locked is a serious racehorse, though. That's why I don't, because I feel like you have to single one of those two, and I'll probably be mostly playing the turf pick 3, because I like all the turf races. So, but we'll see. I do lean. I don't know. I guess White Barrio maybe is better, but Locked's no joke. I think he's a real racehorse.
Yeah, I gotta go back and look at his replays again to really get a good picture.
He was, yeah. I mean, he won the Breeders' Futurity, was unlucky in the Juvenile, and has come back 2024 and run 2 really good races. So, Yeah, he's kind of a colt on the rise. But I mean, he's not like a great price or anything, so I'm not that. Yeah.
Skippy Longstocking's coming back again. I'm tired of seeing Skippy Longstocking in these races.
Yeah, he's a good. Yeah, it should be a fun
Big
weekend.
juicy card.
I'm really, yeah, I'm really pissed at the Santa Anita card. So, yeah, but yeah, it looks. I should have. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be swinging for some
Definitely
scores. So
worth taking a couple big swings at. Yeah, and get your mind off of some Santa Anita trash racing for a day.
yeah, it looks like the weather is gonna be good at Gulfstream too. It's been kind of raining this week, and the races were off the turf, but looks like they'll
They
be
better
on the
be.
rest of the weekend. So
I'm gonna be pissed.
yeah, no, tomorrow I bet it'll be back on the turf. So
Any closing remarks on this? Anything you wanna plug, chat about?
not really. Sign up at Iron Bets, promo code Conductor. But no, I just want all of our picks to win because seem to be seeing it pretty similar as far as prices on the turf.
Hope that's
so.
a good sign. All right, thanks so much for dropping in and doing this, Mr. Conductor. See you, man.
Anytime. I'll talk to you.